Hey everyone, this is Gary Kay, and you see a familiar face next to me, the 2019 CTS Holder of the Year, rAVe from Alamo. Rob, how are you?
Doing great, Gary. Thanks for having me. It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. We've done quite a few of these video casts over the last few years, ironically all about audio. I know that is your passion. Both of us probably grew up thinking we were going to be a musician one day, but ultimately we ended up in the AV industry, which I'm perfectly fine with. What about you? Did you have aspirations of being a musician?
So I was actually interested in being a recording engineer, and I did that for about 25 years and absolutely loved it. And probably out of being a frustrated musician, that's probably what got me into it to begin with.
As a recording engineer, you said, were you at a studio or were you on tour?
I was at actually at multiple studios, a
Okay.
number of them in New York and different places across the globe.
Anybody famous we would have heard of?
Worked with a few famous people. Don't know if you want me to name drop, but
Sure.
So I worked with Keith Richards, did some stuff with Celine Dion.
Oh,
And
only Celine Dion and Keith Richards?
A couple other folks. Now, I was assisting on those ones. I wasn't the main engineer, but certainly great projects to be involved with.
Yeah, I mean, that's an understatement. So I'm amazed. That's very impressive. Well, look, we're going to do our annual audio webinar is going to be at the end of this month here in May 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern. This has been one of the most popular webinars we've done over the last 3 years, mainly because people have all of a sudden realized that, you can have a great video meeting like this, right? And the quality, I mean, Zoom's certainly had a great last few months helping the rest of the world with all their video conferencing problems. But if the audio doesn't work and if all you hear is, then doesn't do you any good, right? I mean, if you see someone's mouth moving, you can't hear anything. The greatest video in the world isn't going to help a meeting without audio, is it?
So true. I mean, and folks miss that sometimes. If you don't have the audio, if you lose the video, you can still understand what's happening in the meeting, but the audio goes away, you're sunk.
That's right. And so we have two sponsors of this year's webinar. This is the first year we've done two sponsors, MXL and Yamaha. And although I don't talk about their products, I know that you'll be on to talk about their products at some point in time during the webinar. But both of them sort of have unique positions in the industry because in the case of Yamaha, they're very focused on the collaboration rooms, huddle spaces. In the case of MXL, they have sort of a wide range of microphone products covering different segments of the commercial AV industry. But ultimately, audio is the key to everything. I mean, the A part of AV comes first. You have to have audio. And number two, there is this issue, which we talked about 3 years ago in the first year I did this, about how audio products are actually more profitable for an integrator than video products.
And that's very true. And I think that's one of the things that we're still seeing hold true, even with all the changes that have been happening in the industry with what's been going on in the world at large, is that the interest in audio has taken a huge step up. Even though we see some changes in the industry where some things are declining, the audio is growing. People are interested more in audio to be able to make sure that their meetings are successful. And yes, we're seeing profitability in that, and our integrators are seeing profitability with that.
And what I'm actually going to do in this webinar is I'm going to focus a little bit on sort of how things have changed since COVID-19 and how we're likely to move a different direction with audio systems and the integrating of audio in more places. In the past, we've talked a lot about building really good audio environments inside of rooms. And I think what's going to end up happening is places like where our company, we have a small cubicle farm because we're small. You have a medium-sized one at your company. You're going to have to deal with individual audio systems at their desktops because we're not going to want to congregate in meeting rooms as much as we were before because we don't have as many meeting spaces. So of course, one issue will be building more meeting spaces. We'll talk about that. But another issue is sort of this whole idea that I'm going to call personalized audio stations. What do you think about that idea?
I think that's a very, very timely subject. And we're seeing newer technologies that are coming out to be able to address that. In fact, actually some were released before COVID-19, but the timing for them, spot on. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and there's some great new products that are out there. I'll touch on some of the products that are in the market right now, but I'll also look forward and tell you some secrets about some, I can't tell you who the companies are, but some of the products that you will see by the end of the year that are audio focused products that will address sort of post-COVID world. Rob runs you run the audio solutions group at Almo, and you have kind of a brand for it. What do you call it?
We call it we call it sound
options.
options,
Yeah.
because we understand that audio is oftentimes a personal choice, and our customers and our customers' customers need to have the options to be able to make sure that they're going to be able to best address the needs inside of those personal choices as well. So that's why we call it sound options.
Yeah, and one example of that is bringing consumer products into professional environments, and the accessibility of, for example, taking a phone like an iPhone and being able to make a call using Bluetooth on an existing system in a room. That's a good example of where that's not the way we'd say to set up a room specifically for that, but you're going to have the CEO or some C-suite executive come in and say, I want to use my phone. This is my own device. I don't want to touch that phone in the room, even though I know that phone's better. All I want to do is connect to it. And one of those options that you give them is making sure that Bluetooth is capable of being accomplished really easily. The same way they've connected their Bluetooth headsets to go take a run, to connect to the Bluetooth in the room. That's an example of the option that you're talking about that Sound Options provides.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're seeing solutions where folks can walk into a room and just put their phone in front of an NFC sensor, and it will automatically pair for them, which makes it very easy and touch-free.
Yeah, and this whole idea of touchless and using our own device is going to be bigger and bigger, thanks to, or unfortunately because of COVID-19. But look, on April 27th at 2 p.m., I want you to join Rob and I for an audio webinar. He and I will both be doing this together. If you haven't registered or you want to register and you haven't registered yet, go to almoproav.com, click on education, click on webinars. So there's an education tab, click on webinars, and you'll see that is one of the upcoming webinars. Register for that. Take a look at all the webinars that are listed there. And of course, you can always go back and review any of the webinars I've done in the past with Almo Pro AV. Almo is our exclusive webinar partner for rAVe. And we had a great event. We did the E4V with you a couple weeks ago, or earlier this week, I should say. And the other event, the second half of it, I guess I should say, is coming up Thursday and Friday. You can check out more information on that at almoproav.com. Rob, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, and everyone, and of course, follow all of our podcasts and videocasts at ravepubs.com.